Welcome to the channel and welcome back to another video. Now on this video, I want to talk to you guys about what things helped me go from negative $30,000 in terms of a net loss to my name all the way to 7 figures. These are 9 things that helped me. Now listen, I understand that everybody is different. What worked for me may not work for you. Maybe 5 of these things might work for you, maybe 2 of them, but maybe all 9 of them can work for you and help you build your net worth as well. And guys, if you see me smiling, it's because I just got my braces off and I'm excited. Okay, enough of that. Hey, my name is Eric and I write a blog over at smartmoneybro.com. Now on that website, I help regular, everyday, average, ordinary people just like me and just like you become extraordinary with our money. I also do one-on-one financial mentoring and coaching. I also do free 15-minute phone calls with anybody. You can find my contact information below. If you're stopping by this channel for the very first time, please do me a favor, consider subscribing to the channel. And also, smash the thumbs up button because it helps the algorithm and it helps the channel grow. We're already at 1,000 subscribers, guys. So those of you that have subscribed, I appreciate it. Those of you that are gonna subscribe, I appreciate it. So I do want to say this up front. If you want to become a millionaire or have a 7-figure net worth, there is no secrets. There's nothing mysterious about it. There's some things that you have to do if you didn't start with a silver spoon in your mouth. If you started poor like I started, then there's some things that you have to do. Everybody starts somewhere in life. Some people start with parents that have a lot of money. Some people start with middle-class parents that just work hard. Some people start with one parent. Some start with no parent. It doesn't matter where you start. There's things that you can do to help you get to where you want to go in terms of money. Now, you have to first believe that that can happen, right? If you have a negative outlook and you say, you know what, I can't do it. That's just for rich people. Not for me, then guess what? It's not for you. But if you believe that you can achieve and get to where you want to go in terms of finances, you can get there. In terms of building wealth, it starts with what you think and how you think. And then it ends with what you actually do. What you decide to spend your time, your 24 hours every single day doing matters. The first thing I had to do more than 20 years ago is I had to take full accountability and full responsibility for what's going to take place with my money, with my personal finances every single time I got paid. I had to say to myself, look, the person in the mirror is the most important person that's going to be able to help me pull and dig myself out of the financial rut that I'm in. And when I say financial rut, again, negative $30,000 net loss to my name. And I'm a 30-year-old man at this point, right? It's not like I'm a 16-year-old kid and been doing this a long time. I was 30 and I said, I have to take full accountability and full responsibility. That's on me. It's not the weather. It's not the president. It's not the city councilman. It's not my children. It's not where I grew up. It's not my parents. It's not whether I was poor or rich or middle class. None of that mattered. The only thing that mattered was what I was going to do today, right now, moving forward, not where I came from, right? We all have a story about where we come from. We all have a story about what we've been through. We all have a story about pain, hurt, parents, uncles, aunts, grandparents. I lived in this city. No, I lived in that city. We didn't have this opportunity. I had the opportunity. It doesn't matter. What matters most is what you decide and choose to do every single day. You've got to believe that. That's number one. The second thing that I did was I had to figure out how am I going to increase my income. So one of the things that I did 22 years ago was I bought my first rental property. I began to invest in rental real estate, buy and hold real estate. Now, over the years, I've done a number of side gigs. I had an eBay store where I sold over $100,000 in shoes to help pay my daughter's way through college. And nowadays, I still do voiceover work on the side. I still have my rental properties. I still do a little bit of eBay. Nowadays, with inflation the way it is, and 40% of Americans nowadays have a side gig, there's nothing wrong with having an extra side gig if you need it. It may help you dig out of some of the debt, or it may help you just pay the bills. But you've got to figure out a way, just like I did, to say, how do I actually earn more money, bring in more income. Maybe it's a promotion on the job. Maybe it's going back to college. Maybe it's going to trade school. Maybe it's taking an extra course. Maybe it's starting a side business. Whatever that is, you want to try to increase your income. It definitely helps. Number 3, the third thing that was really important was I did not take on additional debt. And the reason you don't want to take on additional debt is because debt is one of the things that really makes it difficult for you to actually grow your net worth. Net worth is your assets minus your liabilities, right? And when you have debt, that's an increase in your liabilities. So although you might be raising your assets, having better assets, more assets, or appreciating assets, if you're also increasing your debt and taking on new debt, then you're not doing anything for your net worth, right? So you want to keep building up your assets, but don't keep building up your liabilities at the same time, because your net worth is the difference between the two. So you want your appreciating assets to go up, but you want your debts to stay down or go down. Stay down or go down. Either they're going to stay right here and you're going to pay off some debt, or you're going to pay off a tremendous amount of debt and you're going to lower your liabilities. So you don't want to take on a bunch of more debt in the process of trying to grow your net worth. No new debt. Number 4, I stayed persistent. And that means I kept giving. I kept investing. I kept delaying pleasure. In other words, I stayed persistent. When you're doing something that you know in your heart is right, then continue to do it. Stay persistent. Keep doing the things that are the right things to do. Ultimately, over time, those things will pay off for you. When the stock market went down, I kept putting money in the stock market. I kept contributing to my retirement fund, right? When the housing market crashed in 2008, 2009, I held on to some of my rentals, right? I stayed persistent with the things that I knew was the right things to do. Number 5, the 5th thing that I did, and I still do to this very day, is every single day I listen to something that's motivational, something that's going to inspire me, something that's going to encourage me every single day, usually in the mornings, but sometimes in the afternoon and the evenings. Listen to something. You have to fill your head with positive thoughts when you're trying to do something such as build your wealth, especially if you're building your wealth from zero. You can't think negative. Your mindset is everything, guys. You have to think positive. Now, sometimes it's very difficult to think positive when you can barely pay this and you can barely pay that. And that's why if you're listening to something that's positive every day, what you're doing is you're reinforcing encouragement. You're reinforcing inspiration. You're reinforcing motivation. Whether it's Les Brown, Jim Rohn, Miles Monroe, whoever it may be, something that's going to give you some type of something that's going to give you a push and something that's going to help you keep going. Number 6, the 6th thing I did was, I took care of the temple. Exercise regularly, drink a lot of water, watch what you eat, exercise as much as you can. Movement. You got to take care of your physical well-being, right? And it really boils down to this simple thing, guys. What good is it to have a net worth that's $2 million, $3 million if you're not in good enough health to enjoy it? So take care of you. Take care of yourself. Take care of what you put in your body. Take care of the things that you need to do to be healthy. And that means investing in your health. If it means buying a gym membership, buy it. If it means buying some equipment that you can use to work out and take care of yourself at home, do it. If it means going to the track every day to walk or do the walking trails that's near you, do it. If it means you have to get in your car and spend $10 on gas to drive to the nearest track so you can walk around the track and feel safe, do it. You need to invest in your health. You need to invest in eating right. You need to invest the time it takes to take good care of your physical well-being. That's been a very important part of what I've done for the last 20 years, and it matters tremendously. Number 7, the 7th thing I did was I created a budget and I followed a budget every single month. You know, it's been probably 30 years, almost 30 years, that I have not wrote a budget every single month. Every month, there is a budget in place to tell my money exactly where I want it to go, because I am the CEO over my money. I am the CFO, Chief Financial Officer, over my money. I must tell it what to do. I don't want it telling me what to do. I don't want it pushing me around. I don't want it grabbing me and saying, you're going to do this. I'm going to grab my money and say, $200 there, $100 goes there, $50 goes. I'm going to tell it what to do. I'm in control of my money. Now, why is that important? It's important because you got to know what's coming in and you got to know what's going out in order to know what you have left over. You got to know what's coming in and what's going out in order to know how much you can actually invest, how much you can put towards this, and how much you have to know the numbers. Just like in business, guys, when you're in business, you got to know your numbers. And your household is like a business. You have to know your numbers. It's called a balance sheet, right? The income versus the expenses. You got to know that. And if you don't know it, and if you don't control it and tell it what to do, it's going to run you and it's going to control you. And you can't build anything when you're out of control, right? You can't build a net worth when you're out of control. If you're building a house, you can't build a house if the foundation is half done, the walls are half up, the windows aren't in, and everybody is doing their own thing, right? Somebody has to be the foreman. Somebody has to be over and in charge. And in your household, you're building a net worth. You're building for the future. You're building wealth. So in order to build that wealth, you have to be the foreman that's in control of the money that's coming in and the money that you're going to be sending out. That is a budget. Number 8, the 8th thing I did on a regular basis, still do it every day, is I make a daily to-do list. I do it either the night before or I do it the morning of. And so the reason I do that is because I want to control my time. Now, I don't want to seem like a big control freak, right? But I want to know, how am I using my time? Am I using my time wisely? So what I do every single day is I write down what I'm going to do. And I usually write down the time, either how long it's going to take or the time of the day that I'm going to do it. And it may be specific, 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. Listen, if you want to be poor in 10 years from now, mismanage your time. If you want to be poor in 20 years from now, mismanage your time. Your time is 24 hours in a day. You have the exact same time that I have, and I have the exact same time that you have. What's going to make a big difference in where we are 10 years from now is how I decide to use my time versus how you decided to use your time. So what I'm telling you is time is critical. Time is a very, very important asset. You want to use it wisely. And the way that I found that works for me is actually every single day knowing what I'm going to do. Now, do I hit those targets every day? No, not at all. But it gives me a starting point. Now, if I don't hit it that day, I write it on the sheet for the next day. And that way, I'm managing what I'm doing and I'm not wasting the precious asset of time. Now, the 9th thing that I did to build my wealth from a negative 30,000 to 7 figures is what I did was I enjoyed myself, and I found ways to enjoy myself that didn't necessarily cost a whole lot of money. I wasn't taking a whole bunch of trips to the Bahamas or trips over to Florida and sit on the beach. I found ways to enjoy myself that weren't super expensive. Inexpensive ways of self-care, inexpensive ways to de-stress, inexpensive ways to have fun and laugh and smell the roses and enjoy life. Everything in terms of money doesn't have to be strict to build wealth. You can have a little fun as well along the way. Now, how that fun looks, totally up to you. Everybody's different. Personal finance is personal. Having fun is personal. So what you decide to do is totally up to you. Have a little bit of fun in your life. When you do that, you put things in its proper perspective, and you put money and you put wealth in their proper perspective. And you feel good about doing small things like volunteering your time, helping other people, giving something to somebody that's less fortunate than you. These are the type of things that you can do to enjoy yourself, to have fun, to smile, to laugh, and at the same time, build your wealth. Hey, listen, guys, those are my 9 things that I did for me to help me build my wealth from zero and negative $30,000 all the way to 7 figures. If you got anything at all out of this video, do me a favor again, subscribe and smash that thumbs up button for me. Remember, guys, the best person to take care of the old you is the young you. Take care of yourself and take care of other people. Until the next video, peace.